more than ever before, we're seeing new trends in commercial real estate, and John sort of alluded to it. What would you describe as the number one disruptor in real estate, and how is it impacting demand for real estate? So examples are Amazon or cannabis, which is going to be legal, I guess, October 17th, or WeWork. In fact, WeWork is the largest co-working giant and soon to be the largest occupier of space in New York City, which is amazing how their growth. So, Joe, what has surprised you with, what would be the number one disruptor in your mind?
So I'm going to pick one that's actually not one of those examples, and I think those are all true and they're having their impact. The one that I see having the biggest impact coming is 3D printing. I think where this could possibly go and when the impact on commercial real estate could be huge. There was just an article out the other day that a company now can make a 350 square foot home, so small, for $10,000. And I'm not sure if that includes the furnishings in the house or not, but the house and maybe the bedroom, maybe not, I don't know. But so that doesn't work really in most North American cities, but they're going to start producing that 350 square foot homes in South American countries with housing issues. But let's take that to the next logical step. This may sound a bit Jetson-like for those that remember what the Jetsons were, but can you imagine when you can print a car from a printer? So you put in rubber one day and it prints tires, and the next day you put in steel and it prints the drive shaft, and then you put in leather and it prints the seats. All across the GTA, buildings are full of tires, seats, seat belts, steering wheels. If all of that gets eliminated and you can now make it in a printer, what impact is that going to have on real estate? And you can extrapolate that from industrial to retail. I know for a fact that some of the major chocolate companies will sell you a 3D chocolate printer you can have at home. So if you're having a birthday party for your kids, you don't need to go to the store and buy bars of chocolate. You can actually print chocolate at home with your kid's face on it for their birthday party. Well, what's that going to have an impact? So I think 3D printing is the one that hasn't made your list yet, but I think it's coming, and the changes that it could bring could be material.
I should have qualified. You don't have to pick off my list.
Okay.
So if you got it, that's good though.
Okay.
Peter.
I will pick off the board too. I'll go a little bit out there. What we really see is the biggest disruptor is just the vast amount of capital in the system today. So the world has made so much money. Really in 2008, it looked like we were going to see this new era of conservatism. Yet within 12 months, it seemed like all this money was back. And what is this money doing? It's looking for returns. So it moves in herds, it moves in packs, and when it moves, you feel it. So what are we feeling right now that's going to have the potential to disrupt along with what you're saying, Joe? It's development. So the big of the big now can take risk like never before and build more buildings. They can do office, industrial, whatever the flavor is. So we're going to see a lot of office come up around the world. A lot of this office is being done for tech. So everything seems to come back to this disruption one way or another of tech. So whether it's Amazon and how that's coming through and disrupting retail and affecting industrial, because every building we see now in the logistics space is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If we had a tech slowdown, I think this effect on everything would be rather significant. So the disruption there would be rather remarkable. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I think we're in this growing wave of technology and how it's helping us. So there's lots of things that we could talk about, but I just think the capital event is what is most interesting to me right now.
Armin, I know you're going to Expo Real next week in Germany, and you travel around the world. All of you travel, but certainly you get a worldly view of real estate. So what do you see as the number one disruptor here or happening elsewhere in the world?
Yeah, I didn't think about your question from a global perspective. I mean, I guess you could say central bankers getting it wrong with monetary policy when they start complaining about inflation and saying curbing inflation is their goal, not supporting the economy. I mean, because all central bankers do is cause recessions. Sometimes they don't, but they are the ones that will cause it. They're going to raise rates too high, they're going to overshoot, cause a recession, and that can be disruptive everywhere in the world. In Canada, you've got, it doesn't help me complaining, but the Canadian pension funds are tax exempt and they compete directly with a lot of us in the real estate sector. They've got a better cost of capital, a long-term view. They can build 1 million square feet at a time on spec. That's disruptive. And what's affecting us in Canada now, we're not seeing it, it's not hitting us in the face, but it is affecting our economy, and that's President Trump. He's a very disruptive politician, but his tax reform in the United States is a game changer in favor of the United States. And so the whole world is being affected, and Canada is being affected. We're not competitive at all. we're way behind in terms of reforming our own tax code and matching it. We have to come closer to matching it to the U.S. tax code. That was a big surprise. For years we had Obama, we had Bush, we had Clinton's. They never made those structural changes to the U.S. tax code. So now trillions of dollars are coming back into the United States, and money is leaving Canada to go to the United States, including artist REIT money. So we're behind the curve, and that, to me, that is disruptive, and I hope our government and our policymakers catch on and respond accordingly.